Okay, so for Black Ops 3 here, you can see I've got the game package, which is already installed. I've got the update package, which is also already installed on the console. And I've got my DLC packs in a DLC folder. You want to copy all of your DLC packs into one folder on their own. As you can see here, we've got all of the kind of map packs as well as the zombie map packs. So what we want to do first of all is open up the patch builder application, and we're going to extract the game update. So the 1.26 update in this case, I'm going to drag that into package extraction in the tool and click the extract package button. And then we're going to select all of the files, and I'm going to select the location as my USB drive. So I'm going to take my USB drive here, copy the file path. I'm just going to paste it in here. Now, because we're extracting a game update, we want to select all of the files, but if you were doing, say, a game that is merged with the update, so it's one package file, it's like the game update plus the game merged into one file, in that case, you would just want to extract the SCE system folder and any executable files for the game, like the eboot.bin or any other elf files or bin files that you have on the game. So any of those files you would extract, but you would ignore everything else. However, because we're doing an update file here, we're just going to select all of the files and export the files here to my USB drive. And if we refresh, you can see it's creating all of the necessary files right here. Okay, so with all the files extracted here, you can see we've got our image0 folder, so this is our extracted update. So what we want to do is find all of the executable files for the game that are not in the SCE module or SCE system folder. So ignore the ones that are in SCE module and SCE system. We're only interested in the executable files outside of that. So any kind of .bin files are usually executables, but not always, as well as things like .elf files, self files, .prx, sprx, any of those file types. You want to grab all of those, and we're going to drag them on top of the self-util-patch.exe to basically unsign them or decrypt them. So with that here, you can see we've now got the eboot.elf, which is the decrypted version, so we can now get rid of the encrypted version and copy all of the decrypted executables, and we're going to copy those into the same folder as our DLC. So we want to copy all of our decrypted executables into the same folder as all of our DLC packages, and try to make sure that it's just the decrypted executables and the DLC packs that you have in this folder. So then we can just highlight all of them, all of the DLC packs, as well as our decrypted executables, and we're going to drag and drop them on top of the eboot DLC patcher, let go, and we're going to run that script here, or run this application. And then you can see here, we only have one executable, in this case, eboot.bin, and the number of DLC packs. In this case, we have 6 DLC packs. So we're just going to press enter to patch the executable with the DLC, and there it goes right there. So once that's done, we'll get a output folder here that contains the DLC PRX, which I think loads the DLC, and then the eboot has been patched here to load this PRX file. So what we want to do is copy those and paste those into our image0 folder for our extracted update, and replace the original with our patched versions. And then we want to, of course, rename our executable files back to the original file type. So in this case, it was originally eboot.bin, and then we decrypted it, which created the eboot.elf. So we want to rename this back to eboot.bin again, and the same with any other executable files that you had. You want to rename them back to their original file types, and then that should be good. Okay, so lastly, any DLC that contains extra data, that extra data needs to be extracted into our extracted update. So to do this, we actually have the option inside the eboot DLC patcher here. You can see it says extract with extra data DLCs into folders. So if we press enter on that, we just need to give it the path of our image0 folder here with our extracted update. If we paste in that file path and press enter, it's now going to extract them. So you can see it's now extracting. A map pack 1 doesn't actually contain any extra data, so it's pretty much ignored. And then we've got, map pack 3 it's now doing. So if we take a look here, you can see we've got these DLC folders now being created, DLC 0. It's doing DLC 1, which does contain extra data here. And it's going to do that with all of these DLC packs, all 6 DLC packs. It'll create a DLC folder for each one and extract the content of that DLC into those DLC folders. So we're just going to wait for it to finish extracting all of that content. Okay, so all of the map packs here have now been extracted into the update folder. So finished extracting DLCs, press any key to exit, and you can see they've all been added right here. So DLC 0 to DLC 5, so all of the DLC packs, all of the content has been extracted here into these DLC folders. So all we need to do now is rebuild this into an update package that we can then install onto the game, and we should have all of the DLC packs available. So all we need to do is go back onto Patch Builder here. Now, I suspect that perhaps in the future, IdleSauce will actually add this functionality into the script itself, into his own patcher, where it'll be able to extract the actual update package and rebuild it instead of using an external tool like the Patch Builder. But for now anyway, we can just use Patch Builder to do this. So what we're going to do is, first of all, take our image 0 folder and drag it into the project location, or of course you can click the 3 dots here to browse for it manually. And then we also want to take the original game package file, which is the original app package for the game, and drag that into the path to original game package. And then we should be good to build our update. So all we need to do is click Build Package, and I think I have enough storage on the USB for the temporary files, so I'll leave that ticked, and we will build the package file here. So that's it. We just run this. It generates the GP4 file, and then it starts creating the package file. If we go in here, you can see the package file is now being created right here. So we're just going to wait for this to complete. Okay, there we go, 100% complete. We've got our update file. You can see much larger than the original update. In fact, that's bigger than the actual game package itself. Hopefully it should still install okay though. So we'll go ahead and cut it out of here and paste it in the root of the USB drive so that we can install this update directly on our PS5. So let's go ahead and unplug the USB, plug it into our PS5, and get this installed. So of course you need to go on the exploit host first of all, run the jailbreak, load either ETA hen or the kstuff payload, which will allow you to run your PS4 fake packages and give you access to the debug settings that you can use to install the package. Using the package installer here from the USB drive, we will install our game update 1.26 that contains all of the DLC packs. We'll press X to install, and now we're just going to wait for that to complete. So since that's an update, it'll get added to the queue. It'll appear down here, and we're just going to wait for that to finish installing. Okay, just about installed. Installing updated. Okay, we've got the game update installed. Take a look at this. We're on 1.26, 105 gigs. And you can see if I go to manage game content, there is nothing. So there is no DLC packs currently installed, just the update. But the update should be patched to load the DLC. So let's see here. Okay, here we go. Press start. Let's do zombies. The controller mic on for some reason. There we go. Turn that off. Okay, so we can see already there is a DLC pack there, the Giant. Change map, and here we go. Shadows of Evil, the Giant, Dorizen Drak, Besubinoshima, Gorod Krovi, Revelations, Natrin Toten Verk, Chionuma, Kinevr Toten, Ascension, Shangri-La, Moon, and Origins, all installed. All 14 maps now available on my PS5. So, yeah, this is a much easier way now of installing these DLCs. Obviously, there's going to be edge cases where it's not going to work. There's certain games, of course, that use the other library for loading DLCs that is not supported right now in the DLC patcher. There's also other games where they might already have like DLC ZOZO folder, DLC ZO1, so you have to kind of, reconfigure it. But for most games, this should definitely be a lot easier to get things working. You don't need to use IDA anymore and that script and have Python installed and all this extra crap. You don't need any of that now. Obviously, let's make sure one of these actually runs. So, which map shall we do? How about the classic, the original Nakter and Totten? Let's try and load that and see if this actually works. Since they're all showing up and all the data's been extracted, we should be good here. Shouldn't have any problems loading this, but let's just be sure. Just because the DLC shows up doesn't necessarily mean it's going to load successfully. So we are up and running. The game is loading. We have our DLC map. So there we go, guys. That is how you fix DLC on the PS5 for PS4 games. Get DLC for your fake package games working once again on the PS5 with a much easier solution. Anyway, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it or found the information useful. If you did, please leave a like and